What if I told you that you are minimizing the amount of use that you can get out of your GoPro Hero 10 Black? Well, today we are going to be discussing the best settings for video quality. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing that we are going to be checking out here is this Hyper Smooth button right here. Hyper Smooth stabilizes your video if you're not on a gimbal or something like that, or if you're moving your camera around a lot, it stabilizes the video without you having to do any editing. So we're going to click on that button right there. And the setting that I like to use is high, but you can use any of these settings like off, standard, high, which is what I like, and then boost. Boost wastes a lot of battery, and I think it's a lot more beneficial to go for high. High if you want to get the best out of your camera without using too much memory or battery, but standard works pretty well. And then off, I don't really recommend because it's just gonna look weird and it's never gonna look good. So what I would recommend is high, and then that's Hyper Smooth. This little button down here is this magnifying glass thing with a plus in the middle. This is digital zoom on the camera, so you can see there on the screen. It zooms in and out, not much, only 0.4, but it might be a little useful if you find something that requires that. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is this 1x over here. This would be the speed of your video. So 1x normal speed is 30 FPS. If we move it up, 2 times slow-mo is 60 FPS. And then 4x slow-mo, which is ultra slow-mo, is 120 FPS. And in case you're wondering, FPS is frames per second. So that means it's taking 120 frames and then stitching them all together per second to give you a video that's in slow-mo. And then all the way at the bottom is normal speed, 24 FPS. So I would recommend keeping it at 30 because it's gonna look crispier and it's gonna look pretty awesome. So the next thing we have here is this little L button down here. This would be the angle of the lens that you're recording in. So like right now, the one that I recommend is linear, which is 19 to 39 millimeter. And then above it is the wide angle lens. And then above that is the super view. But the super view I would recommend if you're doing a lot of moving and action, maybe if you're snowboarding or if you're doing a kind of a walk through a mall or something like that. So this linear, which is what I recommend, is what it's on right now. If we bring it down, it's linear plus horizon leveling. So let me see if I can get a better angle of this. So whenever it's on horizon leveling, you can see it stays level until I think, yeah, about right there. So it's about 45 degrees is whenever it stays level. So if you angle your camera, it will stay pretty level until about 45 degrees. And you can see there it tips over. So once we do that, that is linear plus horizon leveling right there, and it's still the same linear one. And then one below that is narrow, which I don't really recommend because you don't get much space out of your camera. So if you're in a big room, you won't see as much of the room as if you were in linear or wide. So I would recommend just keeping it in linear. All right, so here comes a little bit more of the advanced settings, but not too much, not too bad. So if we want to click this button here, you might just click it and then let's just say click the little pencil icon over here to edit it. That's how you would normally do it, but I found a quicker way to do this is to just hold down and do that. So it brings you automatically to the editing menu of the mode that you're in. This works for Hero 10, Hero 11, Hero 9, and Hero 8. So that's that. Now we are in the standard menu, which is what I'm going to be doing a video over today. I might do the others later, but that's kind of up in the air. So our first menu here is FPS, which is resolution and frames per second. So what you want to keep it on is 4K 30. So what 4K is it is the resolution of the video. So you want to keep it on 4K. Don't bring it up to 5.3K because it might take the battery life of your camera way down, and it might take up a lot of storage. So as a regular day, kind of rainy day settings, I would keep it on 4K. And then 30 is what the frames per second is. Right down here is where the frames per second bar is, I guess. So what I would recommend is keeping it on 30, that way it looks crisp. If you get into, oops. I'm sorry. If you get into 60 or 120, even 240, which is on 2.7K, then it gets to slow-mo settings and ultra slow-mo, which you do not want, obviously, because you're taking a video. So 4K 30 is probably the best settings for that. Scroll up here, click the little arrow. So here is, the lens, hyper smooth. All that we kind of went over before, but the lens is linear and the hyper smooth is high. Schedule capture, duration, and hindsight doesn't really matter right now if you're just starting out, but you can go check out another video on those. I don't really know much about them. So let's scroll down here. Bitrate, I would recommend keeping it on standard. Shutter is auto. EV comp is -0.5. White balance is auto. ISO min is 100. And ISO max is 1600. Sharpness is medium. This helps if you want to do some editing afterward. That is recommended for that. Color is natural. I found that this is a lot better than the GoPro color, and it is a lot better whenever you're editing in your software. Raw audio, just keep it off. Wind is auto, and then media mod, which I don't have, but you can turn that on if you want. And then here are some of the shortcuts. Lower left is lens, lower right is zoom, upper right is slow-mo, and upper right is hyper smooth. So there's that. That's all the menu. And then the only thing down here is restore, which is just kind of like a factory reset of the standard settings. So let's go back up here. And you can see you can add many different settings in here, but I would recommend just keeping it on standard, 4K, 30, and linear. All right, so those are the settings. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below if you want to see any action videos, and maybe leave a few ideas down there. And be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.